My answer to it, simplicity will be yes. But most of our capacity is in incubation. Because in science and technology, there must always be an opportunity for you to express knowledge. Whatever knowledge that cannot be expressed is in incubation. And a lot of work is going on in our universities and other research centers. But until those things are put to use, you can't see their workability or otherwise. But in truth, if we won't look at what has happened to our countrymen and women who have, in the course of their life journey, gone out of the country, you could see that they have been put into use in so many important science and technology institutions abroad. And I don't want to belabor it because you know all those things. I'm not going to talk about them on individual basis, but I'll give you just one example. There was a time some years back, many years back really, we had our conference. And one of the speakers was a Nigerian who was working in the US. I don't want to call it the Nigerian he was working with. And we said he should come and do a paper in his own country. They replied, asking us to give them his full itinerary before they will allow him to come. And the embassy of US Embassy in Nigeria was liaising with the NSC to confirm those itineraries, including visiting his village. It was added. I'm telling you, this was added for them to be sure that he will be safe even in his own village. That shows you how important he is. But in Nigeria, this guy was here before he left. Nobody valued him. So we do have, I can therefore use that as an example, so that we do have, but largely in incubation, unfortunately. It will change. Well, I think this is happening is our own way of growing. You know, even children grow differently. You know, some children grow being rascally and become calm after some years. Some start being shy and become very highly opinionated and expressive. So it's our own form of growing. Every nation has its own way of doing its thing. Even the people that are doing well now, like the Asians, they had their own peculiar way. The only thing is that theirs was a national movement. For instance, if you take the case of one of the biggest Asian countries, it is a national movement, deliberate national movement to say, okay, we are going to do this. Shut the gate. Anything we cannot create, we don't need. Then they started. And when they started it, they went abroad, picked everything they could pick with first of the state. If they saw a car that will appeal to their people, they will buy 2, even 3, and bring. Machine, they will buy a number and bring to the country. And in us, they will pieces one and be looking at the one standing to reassemble. They did that over and over and over, not once, not twice. Before that, they also sent people abroad to go and study anything you want to do. Get PhD. If you like, do double PhD and come back. But just go and get education. They sponsored. Asia did it. In fact, I sat on a panel many years ago, and where UNESCO panel, and I was in contact with Malaysia, especially. I had meeting even the president of Malaysia then and the prime minister. I met them, and I saw how they are driving their processes. It was direct. The prime minister sits down at the table to direct some of this on science and tech for them to drive, because number one, it's expensive and you need quick action. Because in science and tech, if you have a product now and you open it up, by the time you get out of this room, it has become obsolete. Because somebody picks it and improves on it. So you have to be also up and doing. You have to have the facility for upgrading yours on a continuous basis. That requires quick action, which individuals cannot take. Because if I'm an investor, I'm looking for profit. So I can't be carrying my money to invest in things that will not bring me money. So people don't invest heavily in science and tech. And I like to use the example.
Okay.
Even in photography, even in your cameras. You see a lot of things have changed. Your cameras that when you bought, maybe before they will ship them, they will become obsolete. You hear of another more advanced one. When we were young, we had Kodak, Agfa. They're the ones that were producing film that today they are out of business. You know why?
With your phones.
Phones came, other cameras came that didn't need elaborate effort to print pictures. And people are not, even after some time, you see that. So they went out of it because they could not invest at that rate. But because they come from a developed country. Nobody cared. But in our own society, we care for such things. So if somebody has started a project in Nigeria, you have to help them. Government has to use government resources to help them. If I don't say anything wrong, for instance, for government to go to Innocent and say, look, we're taking a percentage of we're putting investment in your company. We're going to run in with you to enable you grow. It may not become, you have all the majority share, but government will be there. The reason government will be there is to protect national interest, to be sure that you do the right things, you don't cut corners to endanger people's life. This is how it is done. We must look. Lagos is doing well. If you know Lagos, I remember when we were here, Lagos, we used to look down on Lagos because Lagos was dirty, everything was not working. What they did was to set structures. Have you had any governor of Lagos State, any governor of Lagos being accused of killing people or going after political opponents? Because you have too much work to do to think about those things. You are creating institutions that will make the city of Lagos work. And because people see that you are working, they are paying their taxes. That's how a nation works. But when you see that people are not paying taxes or people are not valuing government property, it's because government is not working. So we must go, and in science and tech, there's no way individual can fund it. No way. Check the history of science and technology development. There is only state that can fund such investment.
So that means you do not agree with what
no,
Dr. Yetunde.
The initial work will be done by the citizens. Like the ideas have to blossom out of the citizens. But after that has come out, and you have set up a committee to say, is this idea worth the while? Once you agree that it is worth the while, the government is supposed to be an off-taker.
Okay, to support.
Until the government becomes an off-taker of innovation, it won't work. Look, you show something on the screen. I had the privilege of being the chairman of a scientific development institute at a point. We developed helmets. You think it's a simple thing, but they had helmets, beautiful helmets that you're like the type you see in American films, and then wanted to make it ballistic. But when we went to the chief of defense staff, I said, look, we want to do this. We have the capacity to make this ballistic, so that you don't need to import again. And he was so kind to say, oh, beautiful. Let's have a meeting. We had a meeting with the sensitive organs of the military, and then they said they're going to even test what we had. And then we can get back and see whether we can progress from there. We did that. I don't know what is happening again. Many things have been done like that, along that line. And I want people to see this from in terms of we need all of us as citizens to move this country. When we say government, when I'm saying government, I'm not talking about federal government or anybody. Government is at various levels. Even in institutions, we have governance. In NTA, you have governance. There are certain things that are responsibility of the directors, the one that is responsible of the DGs. People must do their work. We must all clean our corners. That is the only way our nation will grow. But if we continue to trade blame, we will not have any success out of it.
All right.
And if we don't invest in science and technology, our country